Hello, everyone. Welcome. ¿Cómo estás? Yep. We're doing hey, my name is Joe Lewis. This is Battle Rankings Live. Kind of a Monday special edition, kind of for the loyal fans of Battle Rankings. So if you hit the like or the share or became a member of Battle Rankings, you guys are the only ones that got this information. So we're going to it's just us. We're just going to hang. And the main reason I'm doing this is because I did an upgrade. So I became an electrician over the weekend and upgraded the equipment. Actually, what I did was the router was in my wife's office, and I was doing this show on wireless, and I don't think that was cutting it. So what I did is I brought it from the second floor down to the first floor where my office is, and ran the cable from on the outside, poked a hole through. It's always a good thing to do is poke a hole through your house. Ran the cable on through and brought the cable modem and everything in here. I think that's what they still call it. And I am hardwired Ethernet, and the test performance before and after was amazing. So what I want to do is just want to make sure all this is working. The other thing is I'm going to go through the pleasantries. And then I'll kind of do an open line, let you guys jump on, test the connection, the video. I am streaming this to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So, I'm kind of pushing it. And Ray is playing a video game at the same time. So it's a stress test. What are you playing, Ray?
Team Fortress 2.
Team Fortress 2. What year was that when it came out?
2007.
2007, still playing it.
Horribly optimized.
Horribly optimized. Hey, wow. There's a Dave. Man, long time no see. By the way, Dave, do you have a mic and a camera? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to send an invite to the thread. And if you guys have a mic and camera, hit this thing. You'll queue up. So what we're going to do is going to just do an open line. And this is going to queue up and jump on, and then I'll just punch the different lines, bring you up, and we'll have a conversation. You can ask about anything about Flames of War or Team Yankee. I know there's a couple things going on this week, but as patriotic as I am, I'm using Old Glory to just cover some stuff. I don't feel like moving right now, but yeah, jump on, click the link. So I threw the link up there. Click on that. You'll be able to get in. You'll be in a muted status, kind of like on hold, until I bring you in. When I bring you in, be snappy, be pithy. No, I'm just kidding. We'll have a conversation, and we'll just test our connection here and see how things are going. While people are figuring out how to get in, let me just go through a couple things. First of all, Toys for Tots. Battlefront. Actually, let me remove that. Oh, wait a minute. Well, I'm gonna go straight to this. First of all, Toys for Tots. Wow. Battlefront. Actually, let me remove that. Oh, Dave, your mic there. Okay. You good, Dave?
I'm good.
Dave, okay, for those who don't know, Dave used to work for Battlefront, and he used to run the tournaments for Battlefront, amongst other things. He wore many hats to cover up that bald head. Dave, what's that? Go ahead.
Somebody else has their mic on.
That'd be me, but I know. Hold on. I got it. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Now try it.
Somebody else has their mic on.
Could be you.
Yeah.
But I know. Hold on. I got it.
We're getting like feedback loop.
Here we go. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna put my headphones on. Hey, Raymond, do you know where my cord went for my headphones?
I don't know.
Now, can I borrow your headphones?
No, because then it didn't go into the mic.
Yeah.
I will look for that.
Anyway, he's going to look for it. So, this is a well-propped show. I am actually missing my producer. That's why I'm falling apart over here. Unfortunately, whoops, don't want that cord. A very good friend of hers in a nursing home fell this evening, and it doesn't look good. So she's there with the priest right now. So anyway, that was not planned. So anyway, kind of our prayers are for Pat. You know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for a cable that goes right in there. Let me see who else is chopped on here. No, I got everyone muted. Let me anyway, Dave, what have you been up to since you left Battlefront?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I actually activated my GI Bill and went back to college. I joined the University of Delaware, and I am in a bachelor's program for sustainable food systems and possibly a master's degree in hydroponics.
Look at you. Hey, can you use horticulture in a sentence?
Yes. I am a horticulturist, kind of. But no, it's good. It's been having a great time. It is amazing to sense the difference in my mentality from when I'm going to school now from when I went to school 30 years ago, when I was 18. It's a totally different mindset despite having so many outside irritations, you got wife, kids, house, bills, all that stuff that you didn't have 30 years ago. But rocking and rolling this time around, having a great time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, I think you're probably more focused on actually, the work at hand. Being more, what would I say, responsible.
Yeah, I guess you could call it that. I never thought of myself as responsible, but yeah. I still get some time to, paint. I got, my West Germans behind me, and I got Honey Stewarts in the up above. So I still dabble from time to time, but there's no place to play around here, so I haven't been able to throw dice. And of course, with the COVID, everything shut down. Well, I was hoping to get over to LVO in the winter. So, but we'll see. We'll see if the money and the timing is right. How are things been going with you, Joe?
Excellent. Just where I'm at work-wise, building cars, lots of them. We've been doing that since May. Busy. Trying to figure out how to do more with less. That's just the way business goes. Home-wise, we're doing good. Anne sold her own. She sold a trilogy of her own fiction, and she got the first book published, but unfortunately, the publisher went bankrupt or belly up or closed, or whatever you want to call it. so that's the sad news. The good news is another company picked her up immediately for the trilogy, and they redid the cover of the old book, and instead of the actually Ray, look in see there's two bags right, no, the bottom bag right there. Yeah, look in there. That's an audio bag. And doing a her original cover was computer art. They actually spent the money and did an actual painting for the for her new series. So that's really good. So and she's going through the edits for the second book, and she's kind of already started the third book. So that's good for her. But myself, just making cars. It's what we do, and this with that. Flames of War wise, I've been trying to get games where I can. I don't know if you noticed, but or saw about Team Yankee Masters. Actually made that happen.
I did. I saw that.
Yeah. Actually, I actually ended up running it and got a different color shirt, and something I've been working on for a while, and that was fun. Yeah, and there's a lot of video from that I did because I wasn't playing; I was just running it, and
right.
So I had a lot of time to do video, especially. And then there was where I did 3 hours of Tom Burgess. Yeah, we did 3 hours. Basically got the turn. Got the round going, and him and I did 3 hours of on the air. My wife was there. Ray was there. We just that 3 hours is amazing because it goes all over the place. And if you ever wanted just to hear some stuff, I mean, we were chit chatting with a guy from was it Denmark. And he was in the military, Danish military, and him and Tom were going back and forth about stuff because I think they served somewhere roughly about the same time, so they were talking about equipment and that kind of crap, and it was pretty cool. A lot of interesting things going on there, but we've got a lot of things. I don't know. We introduced a new character last week. I don't know if some of you who saw last week. I brought it in as a one-off, but you're going to see a lot more of Ghost Panzer. So, yeah, he's an interesting fellow. He didn't want to be part of the SS or the Wehrmacht. He actually wants to be a comedian. So, anyway, so he was telling jokes, the Ghost Panzer. Anyway. But yes, so we're going to see more of him. Actually, I'm planning a Christmas special. Oh, hey, look at this. There's Ann at the hospital, probably watching it from there. Hey, I didn't think there was any electronic devices in the hospital there. Okay. So anyhow, but anyway, that's what we got, and then. So we had the Team Yankee Masters. That was great, and we actually pulled it off for Masters for Flames of War. It's going to be down at Hard Knocks Games.
Good.
Yeah, it was an interesting thing to get that going, and I'll tell a little story. I was not going to push it. With everything going on, I'm really busy making cars, and it's crazy. And by the way, people are buying cars left and right. It's nuts. So with that going on, and I was like, so I wasn't too sure about doing it, and Battlefront's not 100% whole yet. So there was no one pushing it over to Battlefront. Then I got a email from a dad whose son would have made Masters this year. He did so good. He did Masters. He's around our our oldest boy's age. Around that 16-year-old level, and he's he gave me a story about how he's an introvert, and this is one of the ways he comes on out and he plays these games and he has a great time, and he made Masters, and I'm like, and they're one to have it, and it would make this kid's, it's almost like Make-A-Wish Foundation kind of level thing. And I'm like, oh my God, my heartstrings. Okay. Oh, all right. Well, we'll make this happen. Phone calls, emails. Hey, can we do it here? Can we do it there? How about here? I knew the Hard Knocks guys, they were game. I got Tom, who's local down there. Tom Burgess down there. And it just everything fell together. And I had them ship everything here. So I got the shirts already. I got the thing, which, by the way, they changed it because they only have really the 4, right? And so that's pretty cool. By the way, I'm going to add the wood plaque to it. That's what I did for the Team Yankee to make it all neat because where they shipped this from, New Zealand, which is pretty cool. I'm like, how do they? Anyway, I won't ask. They had never asked the magician how they do their tricks, and so
it comes in one of the restock orders, Joe. It's packing up with the restock order on a pallet.
Oh no, they actually shipped it from New Zealand to my house.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah. Chris begins with the T. Tally. Yeah. Those guys took care of me. Sent it. The shirts are here. I opened up the box and I meant to go through to verify all the sizes. Sorry guys, the cat found it and kind of slept in the box. So, anyway.
So what color did he get, Joe? What color referee shirt?
Well, actually, I'm not refereeing. I'm actually going to play.
Okay.
Well, here's the weird thing. So I was going to have Tom referee, but Tom was number 2 on the replacement.
On the waiting list?
On the waiting list. So I made it. So I made a deal. That if Tom made it, I need to get someone else. And so Brian Coach has stepped up.
Hey, all right.
And I know he's on here.
That's right, Brian. Put your money where your mouth is now, baby.
Well, I got some stories for you offline. But the funny thing is that Brian actually came up with the format this year.
Okay.
All right. And so I said, Brian, I asked him, hey, because he didn't have enough tournaments to go. And I'm like, well, he knows all about this. Hey, Brian, would you want to do it? And so he said, okay. He came up with something. Well, and then we wrote it up. Maybe I didn't do such as good as translating. That's fine. I'll take some lumps on putting the invites out because my job was get the plaque, get the shirts, send the invites out, and then go play. That's my my responsibilities. And Brian is asking. There's no wood in New Zealand. No, it adds to the cost of shipment.
Yeah. It's shipping. Just cheaper to send the front part, and you can get the back part anywhere in the world. So. Oh yeah,
I mean, but it like would triple the cost of shipping, and no one's really making money off of this. So try to keep costs down.
Well, the Masters was always the most fun for me to plan because you could literally just let your imagination go wild and throw all sorts of scenarios out there. And just do wackadoodle stuff. And the guys who are playing have enough skill to be able to really, be able to find all the nitty gritties, all the corners to cut, and all the best ways to tweak for their advantage in the whatever format you choose. So, I really I'm happy that it's continuing on, and other people are feeling the burn.
Yeah. No, and you know what? You're what are you, number 2 or 3 in that series. I don't know what they're going to do once everything gets 100%. I I'm kind of curious. Oh, by the way, I actually, I prodded them on getting the tournament points for the season too.
Right.
And then, and I got roped into that discussion. And that one, I'm like, why is Pete worrying about what the points are in the United States? But I'm like, okay,
Well, I mean, honestly, I mean, we do have one of the more active groups. We do take up, the continental, North America. We are, we're on the big screen from time to time. Pete's very interesting what goes on. I've always been very impressed with how much Pete wants to stay in the loop of what's happening in the gaming circuit.
Well, he's involved, so it's good to see. I mean, because I know we're probably the more active players, but we're not the most numerous. I know there's a lot more people that play in their basements than play tournaments.
Oh yeah.
But like Able Company, we have a handful of people that actually go out and play tournaments outside of Indianapolis. But we have a lot more people who just stay local or just play at the game store on Thursdays or Sundays when they play there. Which is just fine. Not everyone can get out or get away or whatever. I'm just blessed to be in that kind of position.
Talking about myself, I've gone from being a nationally known person to go to all the big tournaments because I was getting paid to do it. To financial wise, I can only really hit the regionals or locals to the Mid-Atlantic. So planning on going to LVO is a big thing, and I hope my wife agrees with me.
I guess I've been kind of eyeing LVO, so, and it's late war.
I was really hoping that it was going to be, like a West Coast Nationals or something like that, but nothing's come up that I've been able to find.
A West Coast Nationals, or East?
Well, yeah, I mean they were West Coast. No, they were West Coast Nationals. For the past couple of years, I was hoping that they would continue in that trend, but it doesn't look like it. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know either, and I posed that out to them. Will the volume be there? But I don't see there's a reason why LVO could not still be the West Coast Nationals. And if someone asked my 2 cents, I would say, yeah, do that. That's a good thing. Get pump the blood in there, because I don't know about. This year's a wash. Next year's kind of a reset. The year after that, I think it'll go back. Well, from my lips to God's ears, as they would say, that it would, just go gangbusters next year, or 22. So you might as well just try to keep what little's going on now. And okay. Well, Christian, I know he's running it. LVO will be West Coast Nationals this year if he has anything to do with it. Well, we're pushing for you there, buddy. So
certainly hope so.
Yeah, just like Adepticon. Hopefully that'll go off for Midwest Nationals. Mm-hmm. Historicon looks like they're ramping up to go. So that's going on. So the big hole has always been what about Southern Nationals? And unfortunately, NashCon, which would have been a great place for it, it's the same weekend as Gen Con. Who's going to win that one? So I don't know. Anyway, but yeah. So we'll see what's going on. But I do know the points totals, the points for next year, or I have it written down somewhere. I gotta look it up, but for late, mid, and Team Yankee. So and they are what they are. So and then I think people will be building armies on those, and they'll be good.
It's always been my opinion as a player. Just tell me the points, and I'll be there. If I can make it, I don't care what points they're at. I'm going to have fun no matter what I'm playing.
I'm thinking. Hold on. Southern Nationals in Kentucky again. Maybe I don't know. Maybe because that's where we're doing Masters. On the back to Dragon Con in Atlanta. Oof. Okay. I thought Dragon Con was the worst idea. Okay. Hey, you know what? This is just, I'm going to turn this into an opinion show. Opinion activated. Okay. Dragon Con is a media convention where 20, 30, 40, 60,000 people go to media type events. And there's a little bit of gaming. Okay. I bet there are more people dressed in costumes than actually game. Okay. And I could probably put money on that. And so with Dragon Con, and by the way, it's expensive. It's one of those membership things from the old days. If you get in early, it's cheaper. The closer it gets to the event, the price goes up. So that they try to get you in early. Sorry, I just read something. That's a good question there. But anyway, about Dragon Con, and it's in Atlanta, where it's hot. and the thing is, it's not like Gen Con where you have a nice central location with the satellites right around it. Satellite locations around it. It's spread over God's green Atlanta. And it's Atlanta. So, and it's expensive. And it's all over the place. And it's Atlanta. And it's a con. It's a media con. So, I don't think it was a great idea. But, I don't know. It'd been interesting to go. My wife goes to Dragon Con, for a publisher and stuff like that. So, they always get a booth there. Or someone has a booth, and she's always huxting her books. So anyhow, that's what's going on. And so hopefully not Dragon Con.
You're right, Tom. Austin, Texas was great. For Band of War, and then also Texas War Games Con when they were there. Unfortunately, it's just the player group is still a little bit active, but there's no store to really lock into. At least there wasn't when I was working at Battlefront. There was no infrastructure there for us to latch onto the last few years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have a story about Austin, but I'm trying to keep it PG. Yeah. The Siege of Augusta. Yeah, that's it. That's actually Augusta. Austin is dead. Long live Austin. Anyway, someplace HMGS, any place that they have a convention, it would be a good, a something to look at. That's over somewhere.
Is there a convention in Huntsville, Alabama, Scott?
Yeah. I think that's the Siege of Augusta.
Is that Siege of Augusta? Because at least they used to have a rocking store called the Deep there. So, and they seriously supported the line. So that'd be an excellent place if that's still the fact.
Oh, wait a minute. Speaking of stores, my favorite store is the one in Utah. What's the name of that store?
Gadjo.
How do you spell that? I want to show people that.
GAJO Games.
Gadjo Games. Oh yes, my favorite website. Let's see here. Stop. Let me add. By the way, everyone that's on hold, we'll be getting to you, everybody. So. Oh, whoop! Hold on. I need to. Let me pull that out. There we go. Okay. And let me show.
So Scott, while Joe's still working, is Nate still working at the Deep, Scott?
Well, I don't want to show that. Now I'm going to say that to later. But I want to show, yeah. Well, hold on. You know, I might as well. Why I have it up? Let me talk about this. Hey, Dave, do you know about our third annual? Well, it's third annual for Battlefront, but Toys for Tots toy drive. Do you know about that?
I have heard something about this. Yes.
Well, let me tell you some more. So what we got going on here, it doesn't really seem to blow it up that much, is that we're looking to do a toy drive, and where you collect toys, play a game, and chance to win fun prizes. The thing is that why these tournaments, or you can run a tournament or a big mega battle or whatever you want to do. If you do that and you bring in a toy, you get to be put into a drawing. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
Do you know what you have
great,
a chance?
Joe.
Yeah, wow. You know what you have a chance to win there, Dave? Since you don't work for Battlefront anymore, you can win your height in boxes. Is the grand prize.
So I'll have to remember to wear my flats that day, right? For the extra height.
Well, the good news is that there's a minimum height. I think of I don't know, what is it, 5'6" or something?
It was like 5'6".
Yeah. So for children or people shorter stature, you're not getting gypped. But yes, and you complete that by the end of the weekend of December 5th. Have your store turn the stuff in on the 7th, and the drawings on the 9th. So that is really cool, and that is to help children. Now, if you're in a country that does not have U.S. Marines, wanted or unwanted, you can find something similar, because I'm sure there are other charity organizations that will take that. So if you're in Europe and you want to do this, work out with your local game store, who will work with their sales rep to make this happen. Get you registered. You hold the event anytime from here till that first weekend of December. The game store will turn the names in, and you'll be entered to win. And but we all know who the real winners are. It's the kids that we help out. So, by the way, there's a top prize. That's the grand prize. Your height in boxes of stuff. Your choice. There are 5 150-point army winners. So you can actually pick your own new army that's worth 150 points. Which is really cool because it's a lot of stuff, and then there's 40 individual drawing that you can get to. Well, hello there.
That's my middle.
Hello, middle. So how's that? That's pretty cool.
That's always very cool. I'm happy to see they're continuing that.
Oh yeah. It makes it all worth it.
Absolutely, and that was the big thing. That Battlefront when we first started doing that, 3 years ago now. We were very excited at how many stores did get into it, and how many toys were collected for the kids, and it's a great program.
All right. Well, here's a free plug. So this is my favorite website. Yes. By the way, this is not retro. This is their site because you can see where. Yeah, this is their website because they have actually a COVID-19 update. Look, all these. I don't remember what these things are. I like this. The flashing new. Yeah. The email me thing. It's just what's missing. Oh, a counter. How many people have visited? Almost 300,000. That is amazing. Hey,
I personally think that's probably low.
It might have flipped over. Like you know what? The only thing that's missing is the red flashing siren. I'll just click here, see if they got a. Oh, hey, look, Battlefront. So, but actually, it literally takes you to Battlefront.
Good.
But yeah, that's my favorite website right now. It brings back warm fuzzies back like I don't know 97. Well,
yeah, it's very retro, and I talked to him once about his website, and he goes, "If it isn't broke, I'm not going to fix it, and it brings me plenty of money, so we're good." And I was like, "Okay, awesome."
Well, no, you know what? It's unique.
Absolutely. Absolutely, it is unique, and it works for him. So.
Well, Dave, I got a couple other people on hold.
Absolutely.
Let me get to them, and I think. But hey, it was good to talk to you. I'm hoping to see you when I go. I don't have to make too many East Coast drives, but maybe Historicon or something like that.
Maybe Historicon. I certainly hope so. I miss you guys. I miss traveling around, seeing you. Thanks for having me on your show and giving me a couple minutes of fame. I'll stick around and watch the rest of the show. Good luck, guys. Roll some dice.
All right, thank you.
All right.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in line one here. I'm going to add John. Hello, John.
Hello. How you doing?
Pretty good. What's going on with you?
Process of buying my first house. So.
Oh, yes, that's right. Because when's the wedding date?
In July.
July.
We find out this week what weekend we get the venue for the wedding.
Okay, that's cool. Has she done this? Have you got the speech? You don't care about this wedding or anything like that?
No, not yet. I figured that's going to be like month 2, or she's giving me the look now. So
it's coming.
In trouble.
Yeah, again, I think I told you this before. That a lot of planning goes into weddings, just on one side of the couple.
Yep.
Yeah. The other side just going to get a couple of their buddies and show up and look really nice, dressed well,
As long as I show up in a suit and I'm not drunk for the ceremony, I've already done my part.
Yeah, you did. Because really, it's not the ceremony; it's really the day after and day after that. Yeah. People, when I was going to get married to Ann, people were asking me, "Hey, you looking forward to the wedding?" I was like, "No, I'm looking forward to the day after." So that's what comes up. John, so are you getting ready for Masters? Because you are going down.
Yeah, I'm stressing out because I can't figure out what army I want to run.
Oh, yeah, I'm almost down to eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
I can't decide if I want to be hit on the 3s or the 4s because you can bring a couple extra troops depending on what nation you run when you take the discounts to be hit on a 3. But I don't know if I want to be hit on 3s though. I've never ran an army that's been hit on 3s, so I don't know if I want to risk that at a Masters tournament and trying it for the first time. But
Oh, that's always fun. Well, because here's the thing: if you get hit on threes, no, as Brian says, real men get hit on twos. But yeah, if you're going to hit on threes, don't get attached to your units.
Yep.
You know. So, but yeah, no, I'm looking at some Germans. I'm looking at British, Russians a little bit. Which is interesting is that I'm very neglectic right now. Hold on. So I assembled all this, and none of it's really in the same army. So I got some half tracks. I got the whatever these things are. Go this way. It's always the opposite. What are these little stupid things?
The Hummels.
No, it's a Russian 18-9.
Oh, you're talking about the Su-76.
Ah, exactly. Yeah, and Panthers that are going to become the Russian Panthers because I just think that's just the ultimate Panther right now is the Russian Panther.
Yeah, my biggest fear is I like to run infantry, and coming up against Churchills are I have to figure out how to deal with those.
Yeah,
because at range, AT-14, they have to roll 1 for you to penetrate them. That's kind of the thing is I got to figure out how to competently deal with those so that they don't overrun my infantry. Every time I play against them, they destroy at least a platoon or two before I can stop them.
Well, by the way, Panzerfaust and Shreks rip up Churchills.
Yeah. Oh, assault in them. I could possibly do it if I sneak up on the tanks, if they got close enough for that. But every time I've gone against them, even if I'm on the ground, they roll just enough 6s to wipe out that first row, so I can't even sneak up on them.
Oh.
But I wish I could have the flame retardant suits. That'd be pretty nice.
Oh, with the yeah. Actually, well, hold on. If you have 3 crocodiles shooting 6 dice each, that could fricassee a infantry unit pretty quick. Especially anything that needs 4s to hit, they're not that large. So all of a sudden 2-3 hits, not looking good, but that's what those guys do, and they're not the ones that are going to rush in. It's the crap behind them that comes plowing on through that ruins your day. So
I look at those like the new Team Yankee Soviet thermal barrack artillery. Can't remember exactly what they're called. With the brutal flame auto power or the auto fire power. I'm not looking forward to those. Those are gonna be hard to deal with.
Right.
Especially as a infantry player myself.
Well, you can always go Panzer IVs.
I only have 5 Panzer IVs. I haven't built that many yet.
Oh.
So I don't think I even have enough for a formation. Unless you want to lend me some.
Who knows? I might play them as a goof, just to see what the heck I can do. But yeah, anyway. But you got all your arrangements. When you heading down?
I'm probably gonna head down that Friday. I get off work on Friday morning, so I'll probably drive straight down and just go straight to my hotel and sleep until I have to get up for the tournament.
Oh, okay. That's probably not a good way to going. All right. What I'm going to try to do is try to get some more people on here because I know a couple other people have been waiting. And I probably took a little bit longer than I should have with Dave. But I haven't talked to Dave, and Dave has historical significance to the game. So
Yeah, go ahead and get everybody else on. Us bald guys have to stick together, right?
yeah, I know. It's getting colder out. You need to keep the brain from. Oh, what the heck's going on? What the hell? Anyway, I I don't know why I get a haircut. You don't prune a dead tree. You know what I mean? So.
Yep. All right, thanks for having me on.
Yep. And by the way, everyone else, if you want to go ahead and if you want to jump on, I'm going to share the link. Let me do that. I'm going to put it in the body so that you could jump on. And I'm going to go to Scott. Scott, how are you?
Good. How about you?
Not too bad. What are you doing this evening?
Well, I'm going to work for the first time since mid-August. I'm an airline pilot, and I got called in to sit short call reserves. I drove almost to Atlanta to sit in the hotel room.
Well, waiting for your I don't know. What do you guys call it when you're scheduled and you're it's a layover? Is it a layover? You're waiting and
No, I'm on a short reserve leash, so I have to
Okay.
sit reserve tomorrow.
all right.
But I
Hey,
live
well,
3.5 hours away from the airport, so I have to come to a hotel.
Makes sense. All right, cool. Pilot. You want to give us a pilot voice?
No, I talk on the radio. I do not talk on the PA.
Oh, okay.
There's no upside to talking on the PA.
Yeah, kind of like. Oh, attention, passengers. This is your captain speaking. We reached a cruising altitude 35,000. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival. That's about all I say.
Okay. By the way, do they teach that manner of speaking in pilot school?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just curious.
No. Trees get big, trees get little. Plane go fast, plane go slow. That's all they teach you.
Okay. All right. Speaking of pilot stories, have you heard the story of the SR-71 pilot? He's working at a seminar and they recorded it, talking about how he's at 100,000 feet cruising at some stupid, ridiculous speed, and how him and his partner named Walter are having they're putting in flight time to work as a crew. Have you ever heard that?
Maybe not that one. I've heard SR-71 stories about high altitude and high speed, but
this one is basically he flips on the radio just to listen to see what Walter in the back is listening to, and there's some Piper Cub comes in and talks to flight control, and he wants to know his ground speed, right? Or what his speed is, and he talks about how the flight controller, no matter who you are, they talk to you all the same. I mean, they talk to you as if you were Air Force One, and he says, he goes, Piper, it's B, 25 Alpha, whatever, however they talk about the tail number, right? And it says, I got your ground speed at 93 knots, on 93 knots on the ground, right? And then some twin engine guy jumps on and he wants to, be the top dog. And he's like, hey, what's my ground speed? He's like, oh, you're moving at 140 knots on the ground. Well, anyway, so a little one-upmanship going on, and all of a sudden there's a Navy, a pilot, like in a F-16 or something like that. He's like over over Death Valley doing stuff. And so he gets on and says, flight control, what's my ground speed? And now the guy telling the story, he's like, well, wait a second. In that $1 million cockpit, you pretty much know what your speed is, right? And he's like, oh, I know what he's trying to do. He's just trying to show he's the baddest ass in the whole valley at that time, right? And so they tell him his speed is, right, which is like, 900 knots or something stupid like that, right? And all of a sudden, it kind of goes quiet. Well, this guy wants to reach over and hit the mic button. And he's like, oh, wait a second. He goes, I'm in the two-seater. I don't want to upset Walter. And all of a sudden, he hears a click. It's Walter in the back going, flight control, this is, whatever his tail number is. He says, what's our ground speed? And all of a sudden, you can hear the ground. And he goes, there's probably a collective gasp going across the whole, West Coast right now, and goes, oh my God, didn't he just hear that guy? He's going to be ashamed. His ground speed's not going to match that fighter jet. And all of a sudden, he's going, whatever his tail number was. I got you at 1,980 knots across the ground. And all of a sudden, Walter comes back and goes, ground control, I'm showing more like 2. Anyway, but it's an interesting story, and I kind of just told it there. So for everyone who knows, that's my pilot story. That kind of goes on. That's probably it. Hey, Scott, I don't think we've ever met before or played, but what armies do you play?
No, we haven't met, but I run a British breaching group a lot with 8 Achilles.
Okay.
Because I took the breaching group when it first came out to Wolf Creek last year, and did really well until the last game. And Tim Mackle, I think a Masters winner, he beat me because he had 5 Tigers and HS 129s.
Oh,
and he took out my 4. I had 4 Achilles, and he took 4 Achilles out with HS 129s, and I just couldn't kill that last Tiger. So I went with 8 Achilles now. I just picked up a bunch of Soviets too, so I'm going to try playing them.
No, that's a good. Well,
Yeah.
I always find it, if you know how to play an army, you know how to play against it. It's just something I know, or a philosophy that I have. So the more stuff that you have and you play well with it, you're like, okay, I know the capabilities of this, I know the capabilities of that, and you then try to max your capabilities against them. Try to maximize your stuff to minimize theirs, and you can know that better if you actually played. If you actually had experience with the other side. I know. I guess that's my 2 cents into that. How long have you been playing?
Yeah. About a year and a half, maybe.
Okay, that's pretty decent. I think that was our last person. He was John. I think John's been playing about a year and a half. I still got him on camera. You can shake your head yes or no. About a year and a half, 2 years. Yeah, he's shaking his head yes. So 1 year. So he's been playing 1 year, and he's already, up there pretty good. He played in Team Yankee Masters, and this is his first Flames of War Masters. So, yeah, there you go.
One of my goals, I'd like to be invited to Masters one day. That would be terrific.
And well, you know what? If you the way to do that, it's kind of like going to Carnegie Hall. Practice. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But it is practice. Actually, it's a lot of tournament play. The more tournaments you play in different areas, the more you get to see how other people play and what their mindsets are. And you get ideas, and you can incorporate, find what you like, what you think works, incorporate that into your army, adjust your tactics to it. and things like that. And those things help you develop because they say you learn more by losing if you're open to it and you figure out what's going on, and eventually you start taking all those lessons and then you start winning. And then once you start winning, then you can find out like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't get an 8-1, I got a 6-3. Okay, it's constant improvement. And eventually you start getting 7-2s, then eventually get 8-1s. And then can you then hang out with the big dogs? Because once you, like in a bigger tournament, as you go up because of the Swiss format, you get into that A type level, and can you hang with the dogs, big dogs, right? And that's when you start really learning. What are they doing? How am I doing? Did that work? Did this not work? Am I positioning this right, or did I defend this right? Did I attack this? How did that work? What's the combinations? When you get all that, once you start getting all that going, man, your game starts really improving, because not everything is is a silo. It's about how it all works together, And I could do an airplane analogy.
I lose most of my games in deployment.
Yes, most people do. Actually, some people lose the games by the list they bring, and then there people lose from deployment. Yeah, because when you put your list together, you're going to go, okay, if I'm in reserve, in a reserve situation, what are my reserves? And you should already have that in mind. If I'm going against a tank company, these are my reserves. If I'm going against an infantry company, these are my reserves. If it's a fair fight, this is what I'm going to do. If I'm defending, like no retreat or something like that, this is what I'm going to do. And you already know that ahead of time, so that when you look at the board, you look at what your opponent's going to be, you're like, okay, I think he's going to put down attack, right? Do I want to do mobile? Do I want to defend? Or do I want to attack? Do I want to get into a fair fight situation? And you figure out, you already did that calculation in your head of what the other army is, not who the player is, what the other army is. Take that and then put your chit down, what your stance is going to be, and then you're just like, all right, I know I'm going to, here's the mission. I already know what I'm going to do. And it's just putting it down, and then execution.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, I was in Indianapolis a couple of months ago for Gathering of Eagles, which was a Blood Red Skies tournament.
Okay.
I
How'd that
tried to
go?
get a hold of you guys to see if anybody wanted to play a game. Well, I won that tournament.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
I don't know. What were we doing? I don't know. Good question. I don't know what we were doing. So, but yeah. All right. Cool. You got any questions for me, or anything you want to talk about, or?
No, I just like chatting with you. I watch your videos and read your blog and website, and it's good to meet you. I'd like to get a game with you guys and Able Company guys. I've played Chris Jackson a few times. We've been at a couple of tournaments together.
Okay.
In fact, I came in second to him at Team Yankee at Siege of Augusta the last time they had it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he gives a few lessons.
Yes. Yeah. He plays at a different level, so he's got all that stuff.
But I learned a lot from him.
Good, and that's where you should, because another airplane analogy: aces breed aces.
Yeah.
So, and that's a thing from the Red Baron. Those guys with the flying circus, what they call it. Yeah, aces breed aces. So if you start hanging out and learning from people are better than you, you should elevate up from their knowledge and apply it. It's all about execution after that.
Yeah, and I hang out with the Atlanta guys too sometimes. Aaron, Richard Sanders.
Oh, yeah, Aaron's a good guy. He knows what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. Going to Skoda Fest in December.
Yeah. Oh,
It's in Greenville, South Carolina.
yes. Right. Oh, by the way, they also going to do that as a Toys for Tots too, kind of do a combine. Be a
I
good
don't know. I
time.
can ask.
You should.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, have that event, do Toys for Tots at the same time. Oh, hold on here. There you go, Eric. Yeah, Vincent or the rest of you guys are still on. If you want to jump on and chit chat, ask questions, that's what it's all about. All I know is that my equipment is hanging in there. I'm not having any. I don't think I'm having any lag. Am I coming through loud and clear and everything? There's Scott.
Yep. You're terrific.
Oh, I have my moments.
Yeah.
No, I moved.
I invited you and Ann to come shoot trap at my house too.
Oh, that you know actually who's a really good shooter? It's my son. When we went trap shooting, he started goofing around and kind of shooting from the hip, and he was nailing things. And you know, my brother-in-law is looking at me like, "What the hell?" Oh my God, I don't know. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
like
I shoot trap in my backyard.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, and is that and you live in Georgia?
I live in Alabama.
In Alabama. Okay. All right. Yeah. Oh, how far are you from what's the capital of Alabama? Shoot.
Montgomery.
How far are you from Montgomery?
About 2.5, 3 hours.
Oh, well, shoot.
2.5.
Okay. Yeah, because Honda has a plant in Alabama now. I go down there now and then to anyway. I've always been trying to go down there when there's a game store trying to do a tournament just to come in and say hello. But it's hard to line that stuff up. You know what, Scott? I see Vince has jumped on, and I'm going to jump over to Vince, who was
good talking to you.
It was good talking to you too. And hey, stay frosty. Keep your head on a swivel, and watch out for the other guy. Okay.
That's right. And anytime you want to come to North Alabama where I live, I'll hook you up with the games.
Awesome. I'll take that as an open invite. All right, I'll let you know, Scott.
All right. Thanks.
All right, Vince, how you doing?
Pretty good, Joe. How you doing?
Not bad. I see you have an animal companion.
Yeah, she wanted to get on screen, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Vince, what have you been up to since LVL?
Oh, not much. All tournaments got shut down out here, so I've been playing in my living room with my buddies, but that's about it. I'm ready to get out there and see you guys in a couple weeks.
Hey, Vince, check your cord for your.
Is the mic
Yeah, 'cause
nice and clear?
It's giving a little bit of feedback. Not feedback, but line noise.
I don't know what's up with it. It should be good. It's plugged in right.
Yeah, just make sure, just replug it. Replug the jack. Maybe that'll do it.
Okay, I give that a try. How are we there?
I think it went away.
Oh, okay. Well, unplugging and plugging in is always a great technical solution to problems.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward again to see you guys in a little while. Maybe we'll get a game in, Joe.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you never know. Well, because the format is random, so there's 18 people, 6 games. So I don't know, whatever 6/18 is. Oh, wait a minute, 6/17 because you don't play yourself.
Just
or
over
the-
33%.
There you go. So 33% chance of playing. I don't know. I tend not to. I've been to a lot of Masters, but I always bring the wrong stuff. Hold on. Yeah, Rich. Monday night. Yeah, because I am testing the equipment. So hold on. Let me give a recap. Okay. Well, first of all, the reason I'm doing this is because I moved my cable modem, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Yeah, it's under my desk. That's why I'm looking. Now that you guys can see it, I moved it from my wife's office from upstairs to mine downstairs, and then I'm hardwired in. So no longer I'm no longer using the wireless. I'm usually using wired, and I'm hoping for an improvement. And I think I have that improvement. So that's what that's about. And so what I'm doing is I did an invitation only to people who are part of battle rankings, and just I didn't ask anyone else. So if you're a member, you got a notification that we're going to do this. So I wanted just to do this to the hardcore members, the guys that come out. And someone actually who knows his stuff. Sound and image are very clear, no glitching. I am flying blind because I do not have my producer. So I was mentioning earlier that a friend of hers that she helps take care of, who's in a nursing home, fell, and it's not good. So she went over there with a priest. The best case scenario is they give an anointing of sick. Worst case scenario is they're doing last rites. So her name's Pat. She's in my thoughts right now. So that's where my wife is. So I know she jumped on briefly here when she saw that. She knew I was going to do this and say hi. So I hope things are going well. But anyway, so that's kind of a recap. And in Toys for Tots, I was kind of mentioning that. But anyway, but it's open line. What's on your mind, Vince?
Masters. I guess that's what's on everybody's mind right now.
Have you picked an army to? I know there's 11 lists, but have you picked an army?
Yeah, I've picked an army. I'm going to be playing Germans.
Yeah,
it's my thing.
Well, there you go. I mean, you did well with it at LVO. So I'm kind of between Germans, Russians, and British. Unfortunately, the poor. I did think about playing the Americans and just taking all Shermans and just flooding the field with Shermans, but I don't know. That just didn't add up right.
It's not something I'd be expecting. That was not even on the list of things I was thinking about facing.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be a lot of Russians and a lot of Germans and some of those British breaching groups because everybody loves crocodiles.
Well, yes. Well, hey, you gotta love a good crocodile,
Oh yeah, they're really fun if they're on your side, and they're really annoying if they're not.
That's why. When I put a British list together earlier, not a couple months ago, and played in a couple tournaments, and of course I have some Crocs in there. And every time I fired it, I was like, going into a death roll,
Oh yeah, I'd love to have them, but the closest I get to half track with a flamethrower, and it's not quite the same thing.
No, oh no, yeah, because those half tracks just get obliterated before they can get up.
Oh yeah, if somebody gets line of sight to them with anything resembling an anti-tank gun, they're having a bad day. Right.
Yes. You are right about that. Actually, I am looking up. Oh, boom! There we go. Yes, I just looked up the email that had the point totals for this new season. Yeah. Would you like to hear?
I'm on the edge of my seat. Figured.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be a bastard, do a tease. Well, I'll start off with mid-war. Well, first of all, there's no early war, right? So I'm going to start off with mid-war. And this stuff should be up on the Battlefront website on Thursday. I hope so. Hopefully they don't run any issues. This stuff should be up there. And here, ready for this? It's just between us. So keep this under your hat. All right.
I have no idea what you just said. I must have blanked out the past 10 minutes in the next 20.
Okay. The mid-war is going to be 95 points. So mid-war, 95.
So 3 Tigers.
3 Tigers. Yeah. So anyway, I'll start off with that. Give it a few minutes, and then I'll say the next. But anyway, so are you looking at? I take it you're looking at infantry again.
Maybe. I got away with something in Vegas. I don't think anybody's gonna make the mistake of picking defend if I show up with that list again. So I got to change it up a little bit. That list did one thing really well, but everybody knows what it does now, so it's not nearly as effective.
Well, actually, so truth be told, after LVO, I went and I goofed around. I got rid of my pack. Yes, Christian, 95. That is correct. Whoop. Seems a little high. No, well, you haven't heard the rest of it yet. Anyway, it's it's Battlefront, and anyway, we'll just leave it at that. So after LVO, I took a look at it, and I dropped my pack 40s, added the 4 of the 88s, and did a pack front, and created an infantry company from there. Wasn't Fallschirmjägers or anything silly like that. It was straight up. Panzergrens. Did that, and then 2 minor tournaments. I think I won them both. So it was like you put those pack fronts. I was defending, and there was 2 objectives, and there's I put the 2 of the 88s on flanking the objective. Not that they could hold it, but it was supporting the infantry. So if you wanted to assault the infantry, you were getting some pack front action, and they were far enough that you couldn't template both of them. That was the beauty of them. And of course, field of fire and this, that, and the other. I think there was one I was attacking, and I spearheaded, and I knew where his reserves are going to come through. And I think it was a tank company for some strange reason, and his reserves were going to come through there, and I just made the wall. And I'm like, all right, well, if you're going to come through, you're going to have to come through these. And I was able to take the objective, and when his tanks did come on, it's just, it was, nighty night.
Pack front 88s are an include in any German list, as far as I'm concerned. That's where I start with everything.
Yeah, there's a couple of people that, we joked about Chris Fretz. He always would pick armored mortars. That'd be the first thing he put on his list, and then he'd go from there. Well, yes, if you're Germans, I think if you pack front is good. By the way, did you hear the story of Iran Panzer IVs?
No, I didn't hear about the Panzer IVs.
Well, you know how we've been trashing Panzer IVs.
Just a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. They no respect. And so okay, I'm like, so we're doing a tournament here, and I'm like, okay, I want to run Panzer IVs. And I think it was like 78 points, and I ran Panzer IVs, and I ran them in groups of 3. One in the HQ. No, HQ had one Panzer IV and a Panzer III, and then 3 sets of Panzer IVs.
Okay.
Okay, standard. Hit on 4 guys.
Yeah. Here.
Yeah, and 8-1, 8-1, 8-1.
So I guess those Panzer IVs did a little better than everybody thought they were going to.
Oh, I had to play my ass off. There was nothing easy about it. I mean, I was duking and jiving and just every heavy tank I had to swing to the left and to the right of them to hit them on the sides. The only reason I could do that is because we were playing 78 points, and because of that, there wasn't enough stuff to run interference to stop me from getting on the flanks. Because if you can imagine, a Tiger or a matter of fact, I was playing one. By the way, 2 of those players were past master players, and one of them had an elephant.
Oh,
Yeah. It was basically survive until you got on top, and then surround, and then that was that.
yeah. Kill everything else and then work on the elephant.
Yeah, that's about what it came down to. And it's like, okay, if I gave him 3 rounds, he should take out 6 tanks, right?
Yeah.
I gave him 3 rounds, he only took out 1 tank.
Oh,
Yeah,
that hurt for the elephant player.
it was. Well, because I was sneaking through the weeds and stuff, so he needed 5s, and he blew a firepower somewhere there too. So that, I'm like, woof.
That's always the worst feeling when you roll that 1 or 2 on firepower when you finally get a hit. It's just...
I know, because like with an elephant, I mean, he ventilated the tank, and there's a hole one side and a hole out the other, and you're like, oh wow, we're still we still alive. I don't know how.
The armor didn't slow the shell down enough. It just went straight through and blew up on the other side.
Yeah, I actually heard a Tiger did that to a column of Shermans, hit the front one, and it went through into the second one.
Oof, I believe it. The 88s are no joke, man. There's some serious firepower.
But anyway, the Panzer IVs did okay at 78 points.
Did you run into any Churchills or?
Not Churchills. I ran into my first opponent, not a Masters player, but he had a U.S. tank destroyer company.
That's a lot of anti-tank.
Yeah, he misdeployed though.
Oh, then that'll get you. If you misdeploy with tank destroyers, or you're just out of luck.
Yeah, and he couldn't recover. And I neutered the ambush, so that he had to ambush long range.
Yeah, ambushing long range against veterans is always a nightmare.
Yeah. So yeah, I just did what I was supposed to do. The other one had the elephant, and then the last one had T-34-85s and captured Panthers.
Huh? How'd the captured Panthers work out for him?
Oh, that actually, I think if you're a Russian player, that's the first thing you hit. Captured Panthers, 3 of them.
That's the number one.
Oh yeah. It's 7 points a pop. Yeah, sure, they're hit on 3s. Oh yeah, their morale is 4+, and their skills 5+. But yeah, I mean, it's 7 points a pop, and stick them in the weeds and just fire long range, and man, 14 gun.
Oh yeah, with that front armor 9, after you take out the other guy's heavy anti-tank, there's nothing that's going to really stop him. The Russians always have enough artillery to deal with things like pack front and anti-tank guns, those 3-inch guns that people are never supposed to take.
Yeah. So that's what happened with them. So, but yeah. So, and
does that mean you're bringing some SS Panzer IVs?
Yeah. I feel like it smacked around all weekend.
Oh, I looked at it for about 3 seconds and just said, nope.
Yeah.
I don't have the stones to play that.
Yeah, it's basically be like, thank you, sir. May I have another? Thank you, sir. May I have another?
I mean, I figured if you win one game with it, you've got bragging rights that you pulled one out. But
Yeah,
that's about
I
it.
wouldn't want to be the guy that lost to him.
No, you'd never live that down, especially at Masters.
Yeah. Well, actually, I won't name names, but in a past Masters, a long time ago, Dave, who was I don't know if you saw Dave earlier. He used to work for Battlefront, and Dave Griffin, and he ran Masters, and he would be the ringer in case something happened. And one year something did happen, and it was mid-war, and he brought out his Cossacks on horsebacks. This is version 3.
Yeah,
And
I remember the list vaguely.
And what ended up happening was he ended up losing. Oh, no. He lost all his battles except one. He beat one of the master players with his Cossacks. Yeah, that guy, he never lived it down.
But you still remember the story, so I assume he's still not living it down.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure his friends bring it up now and then, maybe,
Once or twice.
Hey, you remember that time? Shut up.
Oh yeah, we've all got those games. I had a buddy that forgot about Piper spearheading, so he threw all of his heavy tanks in reserve. Ended up pulling that game where you come in from the corner, and I spearheaded King Tigers and Panthers right in front of the corner. It's like, okay, bring your reserves on so I can kill them.
Oh yeah.
He conceded at the end of turn 1. He's probably mad that I'm still bringing that up now that I think about it.
Well, at the Nationals, it was early war, and I brought my Japanese, and they were playing the Czech Panzers, the Rommel Czech Panzers list. And for some reason, he was in reserve. Oh, I know why, because I'm always attacked. At that time, the Japanese infantry always attack at night, and we were playing. I think it was called Cauldron was the mission, and he was only able to cover one of the objectives, not knowing that I can actually deploy. If I got lucky, because there was a die roll involved, I actually can deploy on an objective.
So that's one of those done deploying, I win, right?
No, I had to survive 6 turns.
Oh, okay. I
But-
didn't know if it was hot on the first turn or if you just got it right away.
No, yeah, almost. Imagine this. You're a Czech Panzer company, half on, and you have to dig out veteran Japanese
At night.
that are 14 stands sitting on an objective with Nikahaku teams, which are the
I was
guys
about
that,
to ask if you,
yes.
Yeah. I've played against the Japanese once or twice, and those Nikki Haku teams were just nope. Keep my tanks far away from them.
There's a couple guys that still just absolutely hate my guts, and he's one of them.
I don't blame him. I played. Oh, I think it might have been John Holland's Japanese, and I had Panthers, and it was just a really unpleasant experience. It's what they do. What they don't break when I shoot them? No, I don't like this.
No, yeah, those were the days. Yeah, I like them. But my Japanese are just gonna they're nice and wrapped up, waiting for the day when they come back into vogue. I kind of like to see what happens. Yeah, I kind of like to see what happens.
I'd like to see them come back. They were always a fun army. They did really well or they did really badly. There was no middle ground with them.
Hey, guys, I'm who are listening. I'm gonna post the link one more time. If you have a camera and a microphone, if you want to jump on and be on a waiting list. I'm just talking to everybody. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Vince, hey, are you flying in or driving up?
I'm flying in. I forget where I'm flying into. The closest airport is
Louisville. Yeah.
Louisville. Yeah, that's where I'm flying into. And then I'll just catch an Uber over to the Holiday Inn or whichever hotel was recommended. Yeah, there's no way I'm driving from West Texas. That'd be 22 hours, 23 hours, something like that. Probably cost more than the plane ticket and gas.
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, it depends how things are. I don't know if it's cheap to fly now. Probably.
Round trip, it was about 240, 260.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good.
And, my Expedition has a 5.7 liter V8, so I did $240 in gas before I got across the Mississippi.
Yeah. But anyway, it should look good. Hey, just to let you know, for those that have never been to Masters, it's a good time. We got a lot of new players, new Master players this year, which is really cool. By the way, I don't know if you know the shirts. Oh, have you seen so in New Zealand, this is the plaque. I'm going to add a wood frame to it. That's my job. And the shirts are in. So I done my part. Yay, pat on the back. Got you guys the invitations. You guys got selected, got the location, got the plaque. I got the shirts. I'm good. I'm gonna play, gonna have a good time. But I don't know when I'm gonna play, but I'll figure it out. But the one of the things we do, I'll tell you, for the people who have never been there before, or if you're for your first time and listening, what we do is, and I'm going to try to figure out how we're going to do this year with everything going on. But on Saturday night, we go out for a kind of a banquet dinner. In the past, the Battlefront picks up the tab, but no one from Battlefront's there. And I said, hey, you guys could send me just a credit card or one of those play cards that you put some money on, and I can just use it for the event. That didn't go over well. And so anyway, but we go out and we are we have a dinner. I tend to like to choose hibachi, a Japanese grill. Well, because you can sit a really large number of people around and still be able to talk to each other,
Oh, yeah. It's good food, too.
No, it is good food. And it's a show, too. Hello! Egg roll. If you've ever been to these things.
Oh, yeah. You get a good chef. It's a ton of fun to watch.
Yeah, the Volcano and Tucha Train. And anyway, so I think they all go to the same school.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. And hey, you're not Japanese, you're Filipino, or you're Puerto Rican. Yeah, gosh, don't tell anyone. That's just but hey, it's still a good time, good food. You hit the right one. It's definitely a good time. But anyway, one of the things we do is I give out a trophy to the points winner for the season. Okay, so this year, just even with the limited, that's James Best Jr., so he's gonna get a little thing. I'm just trying to figure out what topic, because I actually paint. This This was last year's model. Last year's trophy model. Do you know why it's not on a trophy?
Why is that?
Because I won.
Oh, there you go.
And I just haven't put it together yet.
I mean, I'd say go with the Churchill. That's what I remember from Mr. Bez Jr. I remember about 13 of those Churchills, by the way.
Well, I assembled one.
There it is.
Yeah, I got to paint it up. Not the camera could show it, but I do a pretty decent job of painting. My favorite one was there's a twin to this one. The other one I painted has a green that light green camo pattern to it. So I assembled these at the same time when I made the top, and Chris Fretz won that year, and I put together. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. By the way, I'm a madman, so my desk is a mess, and I know where everything is. So if you can hear me rustling around, it's because I'm looking for my can. Where are you?
I may know what that feels like. My desk has only got about a foot of stuff on it at the moment, but that's because I had to work for a while.
It's like an archaeological dig, you know. The older it is, the lower it is in the stack. Now,
I just always tell my fiance I know where everything is on the desk. It doesn't matter if anybody else does. I'm not sure if I'm actually telling the truth when I say it, but
well, you said fiance. When you get married?
June next year, June 2021.
A June wedding.
Yep. She said yes. Wow. I let her pick the date. You know, I'm just happy she agreed to marry me.
Well, there you go. And on the 20th?
19th.
19th. Well, close enough. Okay, story time. So a couple we know, we got married the same year. Actually, Ann just came home. Hey, Ann.
Yeah.
What is it when we go before we got married? We had to go do the wedding, the church thingy. What's that called? You know, pre-wedding thing. Pre-Cana. You know, Catholics here. Pre-Cana, right? So we had to do pre-Cana. We did pre-Cana with them, which probably shouldn't have. But anyway, that's beside the point. They got married on June 21st. And they wanted a Renaissance type wedding, which means like, yeah. And this is in New York. And up on the Hudson, so upstate New York on the Hudson. Mm-hmm. And it turned out it was the hottest day of the year. It was 1997. It was the hottest day of the year. People are in Renaissance garb. If you know anything about that, it's all heavy fabric, except this guy. I was dressed as a Scotsman, so I had a little poet shirt and a skirt.
That is
and
definitely
I was so
a
happy.
good call.
Oh, it was. It worked out very well, but it was so hot. How hot was it? Well, they did one of those things where they're going to open the envelope and release butterflies. Yeah, all the butterflies died. It was so hot.
That's nice and warm.
They were giving away beer that they brew.
Mm-hmm.
During the day, the beer started to explode because it was so hot. It was so hot. It was just, yeah, and chuckling now. It was hot, wasn't it hot?
It was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
I couldn't consider doing a Renaissance wedding in the Southwest. In June down here, anything heavier than a t-shirt, it's just awful. I think we're above 100 pretty much all the month of June.
Yeah, how is your gaming community?
It's really good. Between El Paso and Albuquerque, we have a pretty solid. It's a smaller group, but it's a good group of players. They're really great guys. We travel back and forth for each other's events. And then there's some guys in Phoenix that are pretty good too. We see them once in a while.
Well, when you guys play, when you guys have a tournament, you guys need to report more often.
We probably should do that. I think Keith was sending him in, but I don't know if he was getting the email right or not. This year, I'm going to try and take over reporting stuff. That way, it gets emailed right.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's not that hard. Just just get it all lined up. Try to make sure that the names are consistent. I check the spelling of the names because that's how the system keys off on people, so that everyone puts it together.
So you don't have double entries for the same player, stuff like that.
Yeah, actually, hold on. Patrick asked the question: does Vincent know any info about LVO? But I'll tell you what, Christian Sorensen, who's running it, I don't know if he's on here, but he was here. Maybe he can. I don't know if he wants to jump in and talk about LVO or not. But there's the invitation.
He'd definitely know more than I do. I get the invites they send to previous attendees because I've been going to LVO pretty much since they started. I played 40K for a while and then switched over to Flames when I realized how much more fun I was having with Flames.
Oh, it was a real man's game.
Oh, the community's really great. Everybody's a joy to play with. I don't have games where I walk away from the table regretting spending money to going to the event. I've never been upset after a Flames game, except maybe with myself for bad decisions I made.
Well, it is good. Hold on. It's a great community. We have good time. It's good people. I mean, there are some jerks in every group, but hey, but far and fewer in between. And one time this game was described from another individual is that sometimes you give a quarter inch. Yeah,
no, it makes sense. I really enjoy the Flames community. You guys are amazing. And it's a really great rule system. That's what I like most about it. Is it doesn't have all the bloat that some of the other tabletop games have. You don't need a 400-page tome with references, 14 appendices to figure out what you're doing.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, actually, Richard just said, I bought an entry ticket today for LVO. Link was on Facebook.
They're up. LVO has its website up with tickets for sale. I think they still had some of the complete packages for Flames and Team Yankee last time I looked. I bought mine about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. I don't know. Hey, can I go to LVO? Sure, why not?
It's easier for me. It's only 9 hours away by car instead of 22 like the East Coast.
Oh, we got a direct flight from Indy to who was that? Southwestern?
Oh yeah,
So-
Southwest always does great flights to Vegas. I think they're running like 110 or 115 right now.
Yeah. I should I think what the hell? I'm going to go. So, I made the call.
I think it's a good call.
Actually, the connection is working fine.
Okay.
I've been telling people about Pat. How's Pat?
Pat is doing okay.
Pat's doing better.
Yeah, she was up and talking, and we're having a definite good conversation and stuff. And they're taking in for more tests and stuff, and then they're going to put her in a room. So I expect to hear back from the hospital.
Oh, did Father Bob show up?
He did not. And he called me, and he wanted to make sure. He said I can come out there. And I told him we actually have there's a priest that's supposed to be coming in for her that was on call at the hospital.
Oh, okay.
So he doesn't have to.
Okay, so the
But
on-call.
he did call me and ask how she was doing, and
Oh, that's good.
it was very nice.
All right. Anyway, so there's a recap. Pat's doing better. Hopefully they'll figure out what happened, and Father Bob at least called us after his mass because it is All Souls Day.
Yeah, and he was telling me about the All Souls Day Mass. I said, I was at I told him, I said, I work, in the Catholic Center now. And he goes, yeah, I heard that. Where are you working with? So we're talking about that for a bit. But anyway, I had Mass today with the bishop. So, yeah. But it was nice that he called me.
The bishop.
The bishop. Oh no, it's the bishop who's only 5'3".
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, my wife works. She was a teacher. She was teaching part time for the longest time, and now she works at the Catholic Center here in for the Archdiocese for the newspaper. What's the circulation of that?
About 60,000.
60,000, just good
Just a
circulation.
few.
Just a few. And though she wasn't hired for it, she was hired for more administrative and you handle obituaries, wedding, and all the announcements and stuff. But she now has I wouldn't say a column, but she does. She found a niche and she filled it, and she writes reviews of like movie and TV reviews for the thing, but for the paper. She's reviewed some stuff like the Fatima movie that's coming out. By the way, which was a great article, because there are 3 Fatima movies and she compares all 3.
Really?
Yeah, and it was pretty cool. It's a little bit different. There was the Chosen, which is that actually, it's not my cup of tea, but I really liked it. The way they did the Chosen. It's about the apostles, and they took a lot of some liberty to fill in the pieces, and it's actually really good. So it's like, oh wow. What was the other one? Oh, that documentary about a priest that, a family that prays together, stays together. I'm like, oh, I never heard of this priest. And amazing. What was his name? Father
Patrick Payton.
Father Patrick Payton. And he drew crowds in the hundreds of thousands during the 50s and 60s. And towards the end of his life, during the 80s, he went to
Manila in the Philippines.
Yeah, Manila in the Philippines, and had over 1 million. Was it $1 million or $2 million?
Something like it was crazy.
It was a crazy number. It was over $1 million.
That's impressive.
Yes, and after he preached his message of love and peace and the family and everything else and the rosary, the next month they had a bloodless coup to throw over what was that guy's name? Marcos. Yeah, they had a bloodless coup to throw over the dictator of the Philippines, Marcos. I don't know, remember how old you are, but during that time, his wife had a whole room full of shoes. It was a ridiculous amount of shoes, and but anyway, but when the army showed up to subdue the crowd started passing out rosaries.
Really?
Yes, and the soldiers just stood down, and the America took in the dictator. So basically, go, hey, no bloodshed. Come here. You can live. You're good.
Yeah,
And so, well, okay, a couple things. So now I'm telling all that. What is LVO? Okay, LVO is the Las Vegas Open. It is first of all, it's in Las Vegas. It's the end of January, it's always around Super Bowl weekend. And
I think it's January 29th this year. Let me pull up my reservation real quick.
They have an event for like 40K. They have a couple 40K events. It's like 400 or 500 people in a tournament.
They had over 800 last year, but
okay,
I don't
there
know
you
if
go.
They're going to have that many this year with the
Everything.
Yeah.
And by the way, the guys playing, it wasn't just like I slapped the models together and brought it there. The paint jobs on some of those models are gorgeous, just gorgeous. And But Battlefront, we have a Flames of War tournament there, a 2-dayer, 5 rounds. And is it the main tournament in the U.S.? It's not the main tournament, but it's a one of the larger ones. There's a LVO in West Coast, which is in Vegas. There's another one called Adepticon in outside of Chicago, and that's a large one also that does all the 40K and all that wonderful stuff. And there happens to be Flames of War there also. And that's another one. And then there's HistoricCon, which is a historical miniatures in the East Coast. That's a large one. But for Flames of War, that's a pretty good size draw also. You've heard of Adepticon. I'm not surprised. I've met people from outside the country, Australia, New Zealand, that kind of stuff, that would fly up there to play. It's that big.
Then there's Gen Con.
Well, right, but outside there is Gen Con, which is more of a role play cards. We're from the company. The group I'm with is in Indianapolis, Indiana. That's where Gen Con happens. They have over 60,000 attendees. It's a really nice convention because Indianapolis does downtown right. And in the middle of all that, we have a Flames of War tournament. But it is what we do. But that's fun also. So there's a lot of cons that happen here in the United States. Some more or less have Flames of War and Team Yankee there. But the big ones are for Flames of War would be LVO, Adepticon, HistoricCon. And then you'll get another one.
Wolf Creek.
Wolf Creek, right? Wolf Creek, which is that's at a game store. I've seen that one go as large as like 80 or 90 people at one time. So yeah, it's pretty good. How many? Let's see here. How many do you normally get to a larger tournament?
LVO was 48 for Flames, and I think, and then 28, 30 for Team Yankee on Friday, I think.
Right. I think Adepticon was in the 60s or something like that, or 50s, somewhere around there. I have to take a look. I think, two things. Years ago, they were in the hundreds, like the low 100s. I think now that all the late war books are out, I think we're as soon as like COVID gets through, we're going to have a lot more because all the representation of the different factions will be there, especially if the minor access has come out, which is supposed to be like the beginning of next year. That comes out. I think everybody and their grandmother would be excited, want to get out there, want to get playing. I think that would be good. And by the way, while I'm at it, I know some people. It's been a while, so I'm going to release the next point totals for the 2021 season. Team Yankee.
This is going to be a big number.
Yeah. Well, it was going to be a really large number. And I said, no, God, no, come on, guys. So by the way, we're kind of splitting differences here. 105.
Well, that's better than I thought it was going to be. I figured you were going to say 130 or something like that.
Oh, no, it was, yeah, 105. So, yeah, I know. A lot of people are like feeling like this. Can't wait for the minor access books. I know. It once again, it just adds flavor.
I think there are a lot of people that like playing those smaller, more unique lists like the Hungarians or the Japanese list, things that not everybody has at a tournament.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, I like Japanese because it was just, well, first of all, I worked for a Japanese car company, so, and I named all the leadership after different leadership I didn't particularly care for. Anyway, so nice numbers. Do you feel that Flames War is starting to grow again or drop off? Okay, it's growing again because there are more books out now. I think it dropped off because if you're a Russian player, there wasn't really any mid-war or late-war books to start off with. So, you're like, okay, well, I'll go do something else because I only have Russians. And so that lost a lot of people. But I know my gaming community, we've gained people. So, we can't beat that. I know we've added, we lost some people, we gained some people. Life's, things happen with life. People get married, children, move, jobs, whatever, right? But then you get some, you get some new players and that kind of stuff, and ebbs and flows. But I think with all the books now out there, that allows more people to play, because some people just want to play Russians. Some people just want to play Eastern Front. Some people just want to play, something. And now that those books are out there, they'll be able to play, and they'll be more comfortable to do so. I hope that. So something about the cards, is that including cards? Oh yeah. The cards add flavor. Like we were talking about the pack front earlier.
I love Screaming Mimes. That was a great card too for D-Day. That was my favorite card. Pack front was good, but the Screaming Mimes was definitely where it was at for me. Or the Defensive Breast card, which lets you give flavor to the list. When you get off that generic and you start getting those weird abilities that aren't quite as common.
Rich, I don't think that COVID did it. I think your governor did, but I'll try to leave politics out of it.
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it neutral.
No, that makes sense. I would say something similar about where I'm at.
So, anyhow, but the thing is that if one here. Let's see. It says just that some events say 100 points, but then they give cards allowed for 5 points. Oh, yeah, I've seen that too. Instead of just saying 105 points and go for it, some people say they'll go, okay, it's 100 points and you have 5 points for the cards. I don't know why. It might be just some preference that people have. I don't know.
Sometimes you change up the event rules, just add some complexity to it and give people a different format to play in.
Right. Well, which, by the way, Toys for. By the way, Vince, is your group going to do Toys for Tots?
I missed that part. I was working on something. What is it?
Let me tell you. Well, let me tell you about it. Okay. So, for those who are new, Toys for Tots. The Marines reserves do Toy for Tots here in the United States. If you're in Canada or Europe or New Zealand or Australia or wherever you're at, I'm sure you'll have some group that collects toys or something like that, and to give to youngsters for Christmas, right? So, just here in the U.S., the biggest, probably the one that we support is Toys for Tots. So the U.S. Marine Reserves started this a long time ago, and so it's a big to do here. So what we do is we hold a tournament, and the entry fee for the tournament instead of being dollars or something like that, it's actually a toy donation, and that donation then goes to Toys for Tots. So first of all, you have to find a game store that allow you to use their space for the purpose of a fundraiser. Really, is that what you're doing? So now the thing is that it is a fundraiser. So the idea is to get more toys for the Tots. So what I've done in the past is I allowed if you brought in a toy over the extra, you get a free reroll. All right. And one year we did a Battle of the Bulge theme, and I hand everyone some type of nut for every toy over the first one. And to get your free reroll, you had to yell the word nuts, and then chuck the nut. Okay. And so that was how, so the nut was your marker, and then you got rid of it yelling the word nuts, Battle of the Bulge, right?
I like that idea.
Yeah, well, that was what we did. What ended up happening was I want more toys to give to the youngsters, so I unfortunately allowed more rerolls, because how else can you get more toys? Well, anyway, someone bought a lot of friggin' rerolls and was pretty much just re-rolling an entire game. And that didn't become too much fun, especially for his opponent. So this is what I'm doing this year. So the entry fee is the first toy. Anything, it's an Iron Man tournament. So what happens is first round, it's 80 points. 80 points. Anything that you lose, a loss. So say you had 3 tigers and you lost a tiger somewhere in there. That tiger does not show up in round 2. So if you could completely wiped out, you can at least have 60%, which I believe is 48 or something points. You always will have the minimum for 60%. Okay, if you just get wiped out to the man, you always will have your 60%. But I know what you're saying, Vince. Hey, how do I get back up to 80? Well, Vince, I'll tell you. If you bring in extra toys, you're able to bank 15 points for every $15 worth of toys. So if you bring in $30 worth of toy, you get 30 points. Hopefully it's 2 toys, two 15-pointers. And you get 30 points, and then you're able to bank them. So say, hey, I lost that tiger. Guess what now, Vince? You can bring that baby back in round 2 because you banked your points. See, the idea is that I want everyone to play, but I also want more toys because I'm selfish that way, because I want to give to the kids. Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like a really great idea. Mind if I steal that and do it down here?
You know what, Vince? I will send you my format, because I have a whole thing about how you buy. If you like, for example, how do you handle transports? See, you had Panzergrens, that kind of stuff. I'll send that to you. What I probably should do is publish it on. Oh, I know Able Company's Facebook. I posted it out there, but I'll send it to you, and I'll probably put that format out there. By the way, it doesn't have to be a tournament. It can also be a like a mega battle. It's just long as you can get people in to donate toys and then play the game. And so that's the crux of it. You can play it anytime between here and the first weekend of December. And after you play, first of all, to get set up, have your store contact their sales rep at Battlefront and let them know that you're going to be doing this. And then before, I think it's the 5th, 6th, 7th. Oh, around the 7th of December, the store should send the list of players into Battlefront. Battlefront then will have a drawing, because now because there's no prizes to give away. That's not the point. The point is that it's a donation. But what Battlefront's done, they have stepped up, and they are going to have a drawing. So everyone who plays gets it to be in a drawing. So there are I guess called the secondary prize, is there will 5 drawings to win a 150-point army, your choice.
Oh,
So right. Yeah, it's pretty good. You pick 150 points of an army, and then they'll send you the army. The top prize, the top, is your height in boxes of whatever you want. So by the way, and it's stacked this way, not this way or this way, it's this way. So your height in boxes, as I got my Sherman Armor group there, it's a lot. The first year we actually had a guy from Able Company win, and to see that stack up next to him, he's, by the way, that was 2 years ago. He's still painting that stuff. All right. I'm trying to remember. Last year's winner was from, I have to look it up. I wasn't here in Indianapolis, but and then there are then 40 other prizes where basically they'll draw names for 40 people, and then you get a box. So that Battlefront really stepped up for that one. So it's for the kids. A lot of goodwill. Matter of fact, the information is also on the Battlefront website right now. So if you go there, go to flamesofwar.com, you'll see on the front page. I think it's like the third item or something like that, second or third item, and then there's the details are there. Or you can go to battlerankings.com. On the top heading, there's a thing called Toy Drive. Click that. Same information. The reason it's the same information is I wrote the copy. So that's what that is. Highly recommended. So Able Company, we're doing ours on the 5th, December 5th, which is the weekend after Thanksgiving. And, we have anywhere between 18 and 20 some odd people. 24, I think is the largest we had, which is pretty good. And, by the way, the other thing is the store that brings the most toys in also gets something from Battlefront. So if you do this, you should take a picture of the group and the toys, the booty collected, and take a picture of that. And then Battlefront will look at all the photographs to see who had the most. And that store actually gets a little something also as a store. So it's a fun time. Now, Able Company, this is our 11th year of doing this. So I started this a long, long time ago. And this year, and then a couple years ago, I asked Battlefront to get involved, what they can do. And they're the ones that came up with the prizes. I'm like, wow.
that is
generous.
a significant prize. That is very generous.
And so, hats off to them. And every year they're just supporting it. And so, it's pretty cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. They're a group, they could be jerks sometimes, but they're a good group of guys.
You mentioned the reroll issue. I remember we ran a charity tournament down here, and we made the mistake of, because it was for the Extra Life charity that we were doing different tournaments for different game systems, and ended up just with the donations going to the charity. But we were doing, I think it was 50-cent rerolls, and 2 guys ended up donating like $100 in rerolls in one game. It was insane. Neither of them wanted to lose. They just kept, okay, there's another $1. Okay, there's another $1. It's kind of fun to watch.
I did that. Shoot, what was it called? The roll for life.
No.
Well, hold on. What was it? No, you just named it.
Extra Life.
Extra Life, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, a local game store, different game store, did one for. I ran D&D, starting everyone off at first level, and ran for 24 hours.
Oof, that is a long D&D game.
Right. I got everyone up to 5th level, and at the 24-hour mark, TPK. Yeah, baby.
A beautiful way to end it.
Yeah. I'm like, good night, everyone.
I'm out.
Yeah. And on they got the dollar rerolls too. I end up my table ended up raising a little over $400.
Nice, very nice.
Yeah.
I always
I was
like
like-
charity tournaments. It feels like you're doing something good and having a fun time.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, there was a guy and a gal that met there, and now they're dating. So there's a little love connection on top of it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that seems like a lot of good came out of that night.
By the way, I am not up to that anymore. I'm like, I was hurting.
That sounds like a long night. I don't know if they make enough coffee for me to do a 24-hour stretch at this point.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. At some point, I got little punchy. Then you get your second wind.
There's a tournament in California that's like that, isn't there?
Yes.
I was planning on going to that, but 2020 interrupted my happiness this year.
Oh, the guy, Christian and those guys, they run that one. Yeah, you end up playing like if you wanted like seven or 8 matches or something like that, something ridiculous.
Just 24 hours of flames. See how you're doing at the end of it. I think
Yeah.
I could try and make it through that. At least 4 or 5 games.
Well, you can nap.
Oh. If you had to pick a tournament, would you pick Historicon or Wolf Creek?
Historicon.
Historicon?
Yeah, if you're going to do it. Oh, yeah, Historicon. If you're traveling out, you want to do Historicon. I'll give you some stuff. Like for example, I got some of this. These are fences. Okay, and I use them. I use them on my stands, and these are picket fences meant for Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do is I clip them to make them look a little bit more, I guess, European. But this stuff is a ton of this stuff at Historicon from the dealers area. I have a whole armored rifle, American armored rifle platoon walking through. Looks like they're walking through a town.
That sounds
And
awesome.
I have there's a tree stump with like they're cutting wood with an axe in the wood, and I make it look like the Americans just arrived and the townspeople left, just dropping everything. I got like little buckets and rakes and things like that you would use day to day, rain barrels, that kind of stuff. A smithy with the anvil and a trough and everything. And if you look, and you can see all this stuff, these like sacks of flour. But yeah, it was like little things like that. But also, there's many other things going on at the same time. Wolf Creek, why it's great? It's just happens to be it's the only event. It's in Kentucky. Nothing wrong with Kentucky, but if I had to choose the two, I'd do Historic Con just because it's a regular con, a lot of things going on there. You could come in a couple days earlier and you could see, you could play other stuff, see what everyone else is doing, and a lot of opportunity to buy little knickknacks while you're there. I always get up on these other things to add to my when I do my stance to make them look a little bit more. Make them look nicer.
That sounds great. I was thinking about it, and I'd always heard good things about Wolf Creek, so I was kind of debating which one to try and make it to next year.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Wolf Creek. It's just that I think Historicon just gives you, a little bit more bang for the buck if you're flying.
It's more of a rounded package where you get all the hobbying stuff from a con in addition to the tournament, and then you can try out new game systems if you want to. It makes sense.
Yeah,
I hadn't thought of it that way, but it really does make sense.
right. A couple of years ago at Historicon, I took some pictures. Yeah, actually, Rich will jump in it because he's been to both. Huge amount of vendors is a big attraction at Historicon. It's geared for historical gamings. It's not a 40K crowd.
That's a definite plus.
Yeah, and but anyways, nothing's wrong with that. Nor are we judging.
No judgment at all.
But yeah, no, it's all historicals. This is where guys will talk about what the color of the buttons on a 28 mil, Australian, that's not the right shade of white. They get into that kind of stuff. But I remember one year I went around and took a bunch of pictures when I had some time. Navy historical. World War One aircraft, fighting, dog fighting, just so much stuff going on there. It's really cool.
Sounds like a blast.
Can I ask you a favor?
Yeah, it is. It is a blast. It's in Lancaster, which is okay.
Sure.
A lot of microbreweries.
That's definitely an advertisement for it.
Yep.
I haven't been to Pennsylvania in 20 years, so wouldn't be bad to see what it's like as an adult instead of touring battlefields with my dad when I was 13.
Yeah. Actually, while I was there, someone hit my car.
That's not an endorsement.
Well, you know what they did? They actually left a note.
Huh. Really?
Yeah, they said, I'm sorry I hit your car. Here's my information.
That is a good thing. That you don't see that all the time. Usually I just walk out and there's a new dent in my car.
Right. Well, you know what? She's the luckiest person in the world because, my car is as a perk.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't deem the damage that much. And so they just replace you. You work for the car company. They just replace the car. Not replace the car. They just replace the parts.
Yeah.
And because they make the parts, and that was that. And they basically they were self-insured. They said they pretty much told the young lady, don't worry about it. Thanks for being honest. Yeah. She was worried,
Well, I'd be worried too if I backed into somebody. That's not a happy feeling.
Well, yeah. I came out and I'm like, well, what the Sam hell is this? Anyway, so.
Yeah, slightly displeased by it.
Well, the thing is, why I treat the car like my own. It's not mine,
Yeah.
But anyway, this is the company perk. But so anyhow, but anyway, other than that, other than the parking is a little tight, it's Lancaster.
I've never been there. I don't think.
It's Lancaster. I think some people have been waiting long enough. So those who've been suffering, you want to hear the late war number?
I've been suffering. So yes, please.
Yeah. I should just hit the late war number is and broadcast.
That's cool.
The late war is also 105.
Ooh. I like that. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy seeing Russian players with 105 points, but
yeah. Suffering. I don't know. 105. So you should be seeing these 5. So I'm just going to repeat them. Mid-war is 95. Late war is 105. And Team Yankees also 105. I was trying to talk them down to like in the 80s for late war.
Really?
Yeah. Go. Oh, okay. One. This is Joe Lewis's theory. Theory mode on. Okay. Does the same numbers apply to Canadians? Yes. Well, hold on. Let me tell you something about these numbers. They're just numbers. These will be for the nationals. What that means is when they run a national, so they're going to run a late war national LVO. LVO will be 105. Okay. Yes, I agree. 80 will be better. I'll get back to that. Hold that thought there. Okay. So, yeah, right. You don't even have to be from this hemisphere to know that that's a lot on the table. Hope you have 4 hours to play a game. Exactly. So you got to figure all that. Okay. So here's the rub. Where was I going with this? Oh, the points. I think Battlefront looks at it this way. They want to sell the things that people love, so like Tigers and IS-2s and that kind of stuff. So or the Leo 2s or the Abrams blah 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 A15 or whatever the hell it is, right? A3s, A2s, whatever. By the way, after World War II, I kind of lose my knowledge of equipment starts going downhill. I guess the thought is, hey, let's get people what they like to play, the big toys on the table. Okay, that's fine. But what ends up happening is you have a lot of ties. All right. But you can still get the big stuff on the table running an 80-point tournament. It's just you're not running an IS-2 company. You just have IS-2s in support, which you're still selling the toy. Now, okay, here's my theory about if Battlefront wants to sell more stuff, if they vary the tournament points every year greatly, large to little to medium, what ends up happening is the dynamic of the game changes and what you bring changes. And I'll give a point in case. When I ran the Panzer IVs, at 78 points, I think they worked. I don't think Panzer IVs will work at 105. I think they'll just get decimated.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, and I think, and what it is that at different levels, certain things excel, and then as they get out of those levels, they don't work anymore. Like, for example, Tigers at 75 points don't work. Why? You just don't have enough of them, and you get. And all I want to do is get you into a reserve set type situation. I'll get you into a fair fight. You'll end up having like 2, maybe 3 Tigers. And somehow all those things have to cover 2 objectives. You just can't do it. It's just what are you going to have? 2 Tigers on one objective and 1 Tiger on the other,
Or a beach defense platoon.
or a beach defense. Yes, exactly. You get something like that. But those don't work. But maybe the Panzer IVs do. You just flood them because you get a lot more of them. And you don't have to deal with a lot of the other stuff. So different point levels lend to different lists, which ends up selling different models. And if it's about selling models, because that's what they turn plastic into dreams, and if it's about selling that, then that's one way to go.
It makes sense to me. What I'd bring to a 70-point tournament is completely different from what I'd bring to a 100-point tournament. They wouldn't even bear a passing resemblance to each other.
Yeah, so if every year you're having anywhere from 95 to 110, well, you pretty much are just going to have the same army. There's nothing poking you to go out to get more different models.
Boredom.
Yeah. Anyway, our buddy here, do do you use preset missions or random draw? And if okay, I'll ask that one. What tends to be the norm here now is using the matrix, the mission matrix.
More missions.
More missions. Yeah, I'm gonna grab it. So in the back of the book, on page 114, use the matrix. So let's see, hold on. Yeah, you pick your stance and secretly, and the other guy picks his stance, and then you reveal at the same time, and then you take and you roll on the chart and you play that. Everyone plays a different mission. Being a version 2 to version 3 to version 4, and when at first I thought, oh, this is stupid. I think everyone should play the same mission. Well, anyway, I've changed my tune. What the thing is that I can pick an army that I'm going to play, and I can say, oh, against this army type, I'm going to pick this mission battle stance, and against this army type, I'll pick this stance, and against some other, generic army, I'm like, oh, I don't know, I got to look up and see what it is. I just pick my stance and play, and then go from there. Sometimes, depending on the mission, I don't like playing the same mission twice in a tournament. So I usually tell my opponent, hey, by the way, if we get encounter, I played a counter. If we get that, can we re-roll? And that's before any picking. And they're usually like, oh, yeah, I played free-for-all. I'm like, okay, well, forget it. No free-for-all, no encounter. We'll just go with the rest of it. And then you pick and go from there. I've done that negotiating before, so that I don't have to play the same tournament twice. But there's that. Now, if you preset missions with delayed reserves to minimize what's on the table, therefore upspinning the game, will this work for a larger point? Okay. Let me tell you, when I put a list together, I don't care what it is. I always know what my 60% is going to be. And by the way, Germans, it's really easy now. 100-point list. My reserves are always going to be the SS Tiger Company with 3 tigers and the ace card. 37 plus 3 is 40 points. It's my only thing in reserve. Everything else is always on the table. Man, I could wake up with a hangover, and I always will remember that. Okay, it's easy. Hey, boom, that's my reserve. Everything else is going to hold on until those tigers show up. Which, by the way, for Germans, they usually do that very well. So, Americans have a really rough time because there's nothing worth that many points that you can get in one platoon. So you end up having like 3-4 things off the table that come in piecemeal. So that's a bummer about Americans. I hope that answers the question. Now, by the way, we are going, what's kind of funny, we are going to have a little mini tournament the weekend of things, the Saturday after Thanksgiving here, and all the missions are predetermined. But it's really small points, 60 points or something like that. It's meant to play real quick.
That should go fast.
And with all the missions, and I know they did something for deep reserves. I think they took deep reserves out of it. So if you wanted to run a Stuart company, you could. So yeah, I've used that. Just concerned with large points and then any mutual losses. Well, one of the things about large forces, play faster.
I don't think I had any games end before time at LVO and Team Yankee or Flames, and they were big games, and they all ended, in an hour, maybe an hour and a half, some quicker.
Was that wasn't 119, was it?
For Team Yankee, I think it was 100 on both, maybe. I don't remember
Okay.
Team Yankee points, but it was probably 100 on both.
Yeah, I think it was 100. You're right. I think mid-war was like 119 or something like that. But if you have a large point vehicles and stuff like that, things do play quick. It also, you got to look about, hey, what's my playing style like? And if you're going to buy all that, like penal colony Soviets, and you're just going to flood the table with 500 infantry stands, no, that is not going to play fast. Unless you figure out some way of shuffling, just pushing all those miniatures across. If you're going to try to finish 2.5 hours, it ain't going to happen. So figure out, play something that is going to work, that you're going to play fast with. Even if that's a Tiger company or an IS-2 company or what the hell are these things called? Sherman Armor Company, British, right? So that you have a bunch of stuff that that plays fast, and use that, and try to figure out a win with it.
I think even if you have a lot of stuff, as long as you have a plan when you walk up to the table and look at it and say, okay, I've got 120 stands, but I only need to move 40 to win, so I'll put the other 80 on 2 objectives and call it a day. You can play it fast. You just can't sit there and second guess everything when your opponent moves something.
Yeah. Rich brings up a thing there. Now, this is one other thing that we're kind of doing around here in the Midwest. The tournament limits that you can use 2 of the same stance. So in a 3-round tournament, if you pick defense twice, defense is off the table. You have to pick attack or mobile. So that gives you a little leeway. Hold on, makes you think about what you want to do with your list. So you can't make a all vanilla list because you're going to eat up your stances. So yeah. I'm Team Yankee Masters here. The format was you had 3 different points for your army. So you bring 3 different lists. And it was a low, medium, and a high. And I don't remember the numbers, like 70, 90, 100 and something. I don't know, something like that, right? And there were 2 chits that you could pick with that number on it. And you could play the same number twice in a day. Say, we'll just say, for the sake of argument, for the discussion, 80, 90, 100, right? So I have an 80 list, 90, 100. Well, in the bag, you have 2 100s, 2 80s, 2 90s, right? One of those can be picked twice in a day. There's a chance of it being picked twice, but you can only use one stance once a day. So you're going to have to do attack, maneuver, and defend. Your choice of when that's going to happen. So, if the first round you attacked, the only left for second round is a mobile or defend, and the last round is whatever's left. But you don't know what size army you're going to have because your number got picked twice. And that's what happened in the tournament. The same number got picked. It was twice in one day. The other day was going to have it twice also because that's the way it came down, which made things really interesting, and I'm glad it worked out that way. So that's just a little crazy way of doing something points-wise.
I like that. It forces you to build a more complicated list that can handle if you get stuck maneuvering or stuck defending.
Yeah.
Hey,
by the way, Dwayne, no problem. Well, yeah, it also depends on what army you're fighting. Yeah, unfortunately, when you get to the last round of the day, you don't have a choice. You're like, well, you know what? This is the army. Yeah. I was telling it's the Rumsfeld doctrine. You know, you go to the bar, you go to war with the army you have, not the one you want, you know, or you wish you had. So
That, yeah, I could see that last game being rough. You have no idea what you picked the wrong stance the first game, and you're just kind of stuck. Well, I got my 90 points with defend, so let's see what happens.
see what happens. Yep. Yeah, but the thing is that, you know, that last day, as your games are getting harder because of the Swiss format, yeah, you're like, that's in the back of your head, like, ooh, you know, I have to see what the first chit's brought out, and then I know what the next one's going to be, because I'm limited. You know, things the process of elimination. So there's some strategy with that also.
That's what I really like about the stances, is it adds another layer of strategy before the game ever starts. Yeah, you can definitely win or lose a game picking your stance.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, or deployment.
Deployment, yeah.
Yep.
Flames is the only tabletop game I've seen where I've lost the game before I ever put a model on the board, or I lost the game before I ever rolled a die. Just looked at it. Well, that's not going to work. Messed that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're also
Well, you know,
learn from. I don't think I did it twice.
mm-hmm. Well, or the other thing is that sometimes you figure out how to pull something out of you know where. You know?
I've done that too.
So, yeah. Anyway, I think I'm you know, it's 10:30 Eastern, and I am going to get up early to go vote in person. So I probably should get some shut eye, and also talk to my wife about what happened this evening, and get all that. But I like to think, yeah, actually, hold on. Yeah. Everything went out the window when I drew Chris Jackson in round one. Yeah, well, hey, at least you got that over with. But anyway, I like to thank everyone that came on and helped testing, because it seems like everything's running smooth. That's what I was looking for. And if you did hang out, you did get the points for. So you'll know the points for a couple extra days and more than your buddies, whatever that's worth. But we talked about Toys for Tots, in that. Hopefully get that, you know, you guys get that going. I like to see different places run stuff, because that's awesome. I like to thank Dave Griffin, Jonathan Meyer, and Vince. Geez, the other gentleman I just met for the first time, the pilot. What was his name? I know I'm going to see it in here. Crap. Oh, he's a nice guy. Layover and waiting to fly. But yeah, hey, Dwayne, thanks for coming on and everything. Where'd you say you were from again? By the way, there's a little delay from when I say it until they read it. You know, see if it comes off. But yes, Toys R Us, go do that. I'm going to see a bunch of you for Masters. I am planning to do some broadcasting from there. And by the way, I am planning to do a big that Tuesday after Masters, do a big show kind of like this, so that we all can tell war stories. There you go.
Sounds like a blast.
Australia. And you know, the one thing I like about Australia, pretty much anything there can kill you. You know, you know,
there is a rather high concentration of deadly animals on that continent.
There is. You know, and you know, and look, the platypus. I mean, what the hell is it? You know,
your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Vince, thanks. I'm gonna
Thank you.
catch you. So, oh, by the way, next week for all 6 of you guys on here, next week we're gonna be doing the Migration book, reviewing that. The subject matter expert is Brian Coaches. And Dean says he lives through other people's war stories, and also he goes, I lock my doors every night. Wow, yeah. Well, you don't need some big giant red coming on through your door. Yeah,
Well, the smaller things don't go under the door.
right. Oh, matter of fact, yeah, and that's what he said. Oh,
I saw it
Yep.
pop up.
yeah. When I was a freshman, this is gonna date me a little. Freshman in high school, summer, I took the speech class that everyone needs to take for the prerequisites, and now the thing is, I don't want to say I grew up poor, but we never went on vacation, and one of the speeches I had to give was, where did you go on vacation? Well, since I didn't go anywhere, I made something up. And so I tell a story. Now, people would show up photographs. I actually did stick figure drawings about, saying that they're their photographs. I said I went to Australia for an outback safari. Okay. Though I don't think the outback has safari. But anyway, I went out in the outback, right? And I said, I had a guide, and I had a picture of a guide with the hat with the folded up side. And I was telling this story, but now this is where it'll age me. While there at one night, sitting around the campfire, we were attacked by a mob of kangaroos. Now, if anyone knows, a mob is what you call a group of kangaroos. We were attacked by a mob of kangaroos. And so I have this picture of these kangaroos all coming with the dust cloud and everything. And they captured us. And they held us captive while they were going around. Is that what it's called? Well, there you go. And I said, while we were captive, they were chanting around Ayatollah, Ayatollah. Now, okay, now you know the year, year-ish. Okay, and and we had to get free from the Iranian-backed big giant reds, kangaroos. So that's what the story was about. I think I got a B on it for some reason. I don't think she particularly cared for the stick figures. So
B for creativity sounds good.
Well, but yeah, I thought it's a lot better than going to, I don't know. Oh, there's a place out here called Turkey Run, which is where you can go hiking and camping and that kind of crap. I like mine better.
I think I like yours better too.
Oh, it says I'm old enough to know the era. Yes. So anyway, with that, I'm going to close it up. Vince, take it easy. Dwayne, thanks for coming on. And everyone have a great and healthy, stay healthy. And I want to say stay safe because everyone pretty much stays safe, but stay healthy. And we'll catch you next week when we review the Migration book. Have a great night. I probably should. Oh, by the way, when I started off, I put the Indian head. Oh, matter of fact, do I still it up? I probably should end that way. Look at me. I'm like a big tease. Hold on a second here. I think, yep, there it is. And I am going to sign off with that. And with that, I am out. Oh, by the way, it's going to make some noise here.